testing out a new mixer, and we did not discover that we had an issue until a little bit into post. So bear with us. We will hopefully have it resolved by next issue. What's going on, guys? Today we have a special show for you. We will be breaking down the live card that we will be attending here at XKO, Xtreme Knockout in Dallas. We're going to be coming out of Gas Monkey Live September 29th. It'll be this Saturday. So stick around. We're going to talk about this all-female undercard.
That's right. Starting at 5:30, the amateur card kicks off the night. It's all-female undercard. You got some Muay Thai bouts in there. You got some regular MMA bouts. Even on the main card, you have some Muay Thai bouts, which is kind of interesting, right? It's an interesting little card they have set up that night. Definitely check them out. If you haven't got your tickets, check out XtremeKnockout.com. If you can't make it and you want to check out the show anyway, XKO.TV. They have them there. They're going to be live streaming the fights. They also have a bunch of highlights from past events, so check those out if you're interested in getting into the promotion.
Welcome to the Hook J Podcast.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
When it's all said and done, I know one thing that I can do. I can fight. I can give it, and I can take it.
You should have left me over on that other game that I'm from, that more ruthless game where we bounce heads off the canvas and drill them into the floor. You should have left me where I was.
The show starts now.
What's up, guys? We're doing as we said in the intro, at this point you probably already know because we've spammed the hell out of you for the past month and a half about Xtreme Knockout. This is the day. This will be coming out the day before, right?
Yes.
The day before. So if you're watching this, you're really interested in Xtreme Knockout and you want to know more about it. So 5:30 is when the doors open. They're kicking off the amateur card. It's going to be interesting. It's all female undercard. You got a couple people making their debut, I believe, in there. I'm pretty sure there's a couple people making the debut.
If the Fightistics site is correct, then yes, which I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, it's kind of their site, so I hope it's correct. But not only they're making their debut, there's a few Muay Thai bouts in there, which is kind of cool. There's a championship bout. There's a strawweight bout with the returning first women's of Xtreme Knockouts champ,
Valerie Soto.
It's going to be interesting. I kind of want to know how this is going to play out. You know, in my opinion, a lot of the female fighters are a little more aggressive from what I've seen, especially in UFC. A lot of the ones that I've seen, even in amateur fights, they're a lot more aggressive. They tend to be. So it's going to be interesting how this plays out. I imagine there'll be a lot of good scrapping in the amateur card.
I'm hoping. I hope there's a lot of good scraps because some of these ladies, from the footage that I could find to do a little background check, you would say, or just to get some knowledge on them. Some of them are really scrappy, actually. Some of them are actually a lot tougher than I would be.
Well, that's not that hard.
Well, yeah, I'm a pushover.
Completely.
Yeah, I literally just fell over.
We have the fan on.
Yeah. All right, so the first bout I want to talk about is a Muay Thai bout between Seifert and Sakone Fraser. Sakone Fraser. I'm not sure I said that right. I could not find something I said her name. That and I had the audio off when I was listening to a lot of this stuff, just so I could stay focused because sometimes audio can really, really diminish.
Don't do that. We're on a podcast.
No, you ever get whenever
this is an audio type of.
You ever get with the commentator and something really kind of takes you out of the fight? Like, dude, be quiet for a minute.
Yeah, there's been a few times. Like there's that clip where they did the amateur fights, and I think it was Ireland where he kept saying Minus. His name was Minus, but his accent made it say Minus. It takes you right out of the bout because you're like.
That or the Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou one where John Anik and Joe Rogan were just trying to come up with anything they could to keep.
Well, that was keeping it going though. That was a good type of commentation.
Well, they were trying their hardest, during 15 minutes of.
Well, that was a really hard one to commentate because, hell, I don't even think Mauro Ranallo could keep that exciting. And that dude is exciting regardless,
awesome.
you know.
Yeah, Ranallo If you don't know who Ranello is, he's a really great commentator. If you're not a fan, he will make
If
you
you
a
don't
fan
know
of what's
who
going on.
Ranello is, you definitely need to get on like some MMA research. All right, because it means you never watch Pride. You never watch Showtime
Glory,
boxing.
you didn't watch nothing.
Like you didn't
even watch WWE because he was on WWE for a while.
He still is. He still does NXT.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So the first fight I want to talk about is Sierra Seifert. I hope I say these women's names right. And Megan Saccone Fraser. From everything I could find on Miss Seifert, that lady right there, shit, that girl's a powerhouse. I just gotta say it. She walks forward and she throws some haymakers. They don't look like haymakers. I would equate her to you in the sense that she's very heavy-handed.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a learned skill or that's just who she is, but she is very heavy-handed. She does something very well that I did notice though. She sets up high kicks with because of the gloves they wear in Muay Thai are bigger. Sticks them right in your face so you can't see it, and then throws the opposite. So she does a lot of feints too, which is really nice.
If I'm thinking of it right, that's a Dutch combo.
Yeah, well, whatever it is, it works. She does it very well.
Does she set it up with 1-2?
No.
1, 2?
She does like a.
Or does she? Or does she
the
just
best
do
one
like
I've seen her do so
jab,
far
high
was
kick?
4.
Okay.
So it was a 1-2 mid, and then it was a high kick.
Okay.
So that was really. And then she went from a 4-3-2. But
Okay.
everything that she was throwing there for a while, from everything I was finding, it's like everything ended in a high kick. If it wasn't right, it was left, and then she would throw in body shots with those kicks too. And then whenever people got the hang of putting their arms down to block the body shot, here came the head kick, and she's really accurate. She is really accurate. Yeah.
Some of these women I haven't checked out yet on their videos. I need to, because these are upcoming fighters. A lot of them what I know about them or what I've seen, the little clips they have on the website, they're pretty badass. I couldn't, tell you exactly which ones because I'm not familiar with their faces yet, but I can tell you a lot of the fights that I've seen on the website, a lot of the Muay Thai bouts, a lot of the MMA, they end in finishes. Their Xtreme Knockout's really good at putting finishes on. I've noticed that.
Sierra's 4-0, and Megan, she's 3-0. So somebody's coming out with a loss in this one. So if Sierra keeps it going, she'll still be undefeated at XKO. It'll be her. If she loses, it'll be her first loss there. And Megan will go up to 4-0, which would be nice. I mean, everybody wants an undefeated record, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Megan fought last at XKO at the Amateur Series number 10 when she got a win over Shalonia Grace. I hope I say these names right. God, I'm going to say that 100 times. I hope I say these names right. She outstrikes her opponents. That's all there really is to it. If you go by volume. Okay. So if we're going by volume, she's outstriking them, but she's missing.
Missing what?
She's missing her strike. She's throwing a bunch. She's going to... If her opponent throws 100, she's going to throw 150.
So she's not like 100% accurate. She's throwing high volumes of it?
She's throwing high volumes, but she's not connecting. I think that's if, from what I've seen footage-wise of Sierra, she hits a lot. So I don't think she's going to be able to walk forward and do that against Sierra. She's probably going to have to actually land those strikes. Her opponents have a lot more efficiency over her. We're going off the stats off Fightistics because some of these fighters are a little bit harder to find and locate enough footage for you to make a general opinion of. Whereas, if I want to look up Rory McDonald, I got 20 fights to look at. Yeah. So,
well, Fightistics is the official, like you can find the official statistics of them because the guy shows up to these fights.
Yep.
He's been there since I think the day one is what they told us.
I believe so.
So definitely, if you're interested in knowing exactly, how these people throw down. He's on the ringside with the clicker, and he's trying to figure out how many exact jabs and high kicks they're throwing.
He is their statistician, and I'm guessing he operates the website too.
I think so, because that's who I emailed. I went directly.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
I think his name was John.
John, yeah, John is his name.
Kudos, John. Shout out. Thank you, because this is going to be very essential for the rest of this podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I don't mean to harp on Sierra, but she's the only one I was able to find the footage on in the time frame for this podcast. I will, going forward, whenever we go to hopefully, the next XKO event or coverage for it. Get a little bit more time, cover that one.
Definitely. We also got to remember it's very hard to find anything on most of these fighters because a lot of them are the amateur fighters. There's a few debuts. It's very hard to find fight video when there's very little of it or none of it.
Yeah. Or, you got to fight through all the people standing in the way and the really bad audio from the iPhone, people in the crowds, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The official videos were kind of hard to find. However, I could not find any LFA footage.
Yeah, that's interesting. I thought that was weird because LFA is kind of a bigger promotion,
They're probably like UFC.
But they have the stream. They stream a lot of it. They have it on Access, I believe.
In my defense, though, I only checked on YouTube. I did not check their actual website.
Well, the interesting part about it is Xtreme Knockout, they stream it live, so they have video cameras there, and I've noticed their production is really good.
Yeah, video quality is really actually
video
nice.
quality is amazing. Sounds good. A lot of times when you watch these amateur bouts, the audio is off, or they have the commentator who sounds like he's in the microphone yelling at you, and he overshadows everything. Definitely a lot better, higher quality with the production that I've noticed right off the bat.
All right, so the next fight I want to talk about is going to be Kristen Campos and Melissa McHugh. Again, ladies, apologize if I messed up those names.
This is an atomweight bout, right?
Yes, atomweight. Technically a flyweight, I guess, but maybe
No, atomweight's smaller than a flyweight. Atomweight's like the smallest size.
Like you are able to fight, but we don't know why. And that's just
basically when they walk out to the ring, they're fighting. They shut off all the fans
so that
they can stick to the ground.
Well, they all have leashes on them, so the coaches can.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay. So these are atomweight fighters. These are really small people that are fighting in the cage.
Two very small women, yes. Kristen Campos comes in at 3-1 on her record, and Melissa McHugh comes in at 2-2. So she's an even fighter. Hopefully she gets that win and makes it a 3-2, and hopefully Kristen gets her 4-1 to keep herself going too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I want every fighter to win, but you can't. There's only two people walking into the ring. One of them's got to come out with a win.
Question.
It's very rare to come out with a draw.
If
No, they don't both win.
Question. If you saw a fighter who is like 0, 0, and 37, right? Would you be like, dude, that dude's a really great fighter? Or would you be like, he's obviously like okay.
0, 0, and 37? Like, you never won.
Like,
you never lost.
He's
but
37 draws.
You made everybody work for it. That would be really...
Would you consider that a positive record still?
Yeah, because you don't have a loss. You don't have a win either.
Technically.
But you have round time. You have
You'd
fight
be a
statistics.
vet. Yeah,
you have fight statistics. So that would be interesting. Like all your stuff just showed up. 0,
Like
0, 0, 0, and 20.
How is this dude that big of a draw?
Because he never wins, but he never loses. We put him up against everybody. We put him up against Brock Lesnar, and he's a flyweight.
I don't know how he did it. Like a spider monkey.
Like Brock threw him down. He's like one of those crawlers from Alien. Just fucking everywhere.
Little chest pressure.
Kristen's 22, coming from Harker Heights. Here's her height and weight.
Okay.
4'11", 105.
Okay. She's 4'11", 105. That's really light.
That's a very small person, yes.
105 is her fight weight, right?
I hope so, yes.
Yeah. So she you can't cut down more than that.
Like the most she could do is go up to 115.
Well, I imagine she's probably walking around like 115, maybe 125, but that's pretty big for an atom.
Like I don't mean to insult her, but like the pros have to cut down to 115. If she ever makes it that level, she's gonna have a fight. She is gonna have a challenge. But she's a blue belt in jiu-jitsu.
Pretty up there. It's not brown belt or purple belt, but it's blue. It's a lot higher than I got.
I don't know the belts colors on
it's
that.
White, blue, purple, brown, black, coral.
So Kristen Campos is coming in at 4'11" and 105, which explains the weight class being atom weight. It's a very small fighter.
Yeah.
Her ring name, Bam Bam, but she does. She's got a really high percentage of accuracy. I'm not gonna lie, and cage control. If we're going off the fightistics, she is very efficient. Just completely efficient. She is very efficient with her hits. She doesn't really miss. She's got 14 missed kicks or punches. However, that's racked up. And she's hit 66 times. Out of a total of like 80. out of one fight. So
She's missed how many times?
14.
14 times out of.
And she hit 66.
She's what,
so we're looking at like 80.
She's had, what, 5 fights?
3 and 1.
Oh, 4 fights.
But the Fightistics only record, from what I'm noticing, is the XKO fights. And she's only had 1 XKO fight.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. It's like, that would be very impressive.
That would be highly efficient if that was a pro level.
Like, what?
You only missed 20% of the time? That is crazy.
That's Joanna level. You know?
Well, with her skill in freestyle, maybe she's a wrestler.
Maybe.
Her opponent, Melissa McHugh, is coming in at 105 as well, but she's got a height advantage. She's at 5'3". So that means Kristen's going to have to swing up.
So she got a reach advantage too?
I would assume so. Height usually gives you a reach advantage too.
Sometimes not. But
usually. She has fought in XKO about a year ago. Oh, a little over a year ago. January 28th of 2017 versus somebody else, Kristen Christ, who I have looked up, ironically. She's 2-2 on her amateur record, so out of 4 fights, this would be her second one XKO, so I'm guessing she's fought out of other areas, other places. I know there's a place over in Mesquite called Tough Enough. All right, the next fight I want to talk about is, I'm going to butcher this, Sherlonia Grace. That's what I'm going to go with. Sherlonia the Tsunami Grace.
She's going to win with a name
versus
like
Diana Coutinez? I don't know. I know I butchered that all 3 times on all 3 attempts.
Interesting bout. This is a Muay Thai bout.
Yeah.
So far on the card, they went Muay Thai, MMA, Muay Thai.
For the undercard, yes.
Yes. I think most of it's like that. Yeah, it's kind of back and forth for the most part.
So I really don't have much to say about the Diana Coutinez lady, because she's got no nickname or nothing. I didn't get to see any footage of her, but whenever I was looking up Sierra, I did manage to find a Sierra fight versus Grace, and Grace was a heavy hitter. She's a heavy hitter. I'm not even gonna lie. She stood her own. That girl is pretty stocky too. She stood her own against Sierra, and Sierra, those two went at it for round after round. The only thing I think she needs to utilize more is her kicking game. It was a Muay Thai fight, and she didn't kick as much as she probably...
Was she just trying to box, really, it looked like?
And survive a little bit, because Sierra, she throws a lot in volume. Mm-hmm. And she's coming from, she's John Wayne punching a lot. But Grace had a few flurries that was pushing Sierra back across the ring, and they were accurate, too. They were through the guard, they were around the guard, they were up the middle. She rocked her. She didn't actually rock her, but she, those shots landed clean and flush and full. Like full power. There's a few of them. Really impressed by that. That accuracy was really high up there. So, shout out to Miss Grace on that. She caught my eye when I was watching that fight. I was like, oh, this is not as one-sided as I thought it was going to be. There was another fight I watched with Sierra where she beat the girl in the first round. Like, the girl had no chance. It was literally like whenever you see the girl who thinks she's really badass fight the girl who is badass. Miss Grace, she did a good job against Sierra, so I expect kind of the same. But the girl she's fighting is at 6-1, and Miss Grace is at 4-2. Of course, somebody's got to get that L, and I think that if the lady Miss Diana comes out with 7-1, maybe she'll move up to a more pro career. But I don't know how Muay Thai really works. I'm just going to be 100% honest right here, right now. I don't know the rules of Muay Thai, but it's fun to watch.
Watch a lot of it, but there's interesting rules. It depends on what country you're in. If you're in, they're going by true Thailand rules.
Well, I know if it's amateur, you can't hold the back of the head and knee.
Yeah.
You can knee, but you can't hold the back of the head. That's about all I know. So you can't pull into the knee.
Yeah, it's
there's no elbows.
One of those things that
I think elbows are a game changer, and they don't allow that, which is fine because amateurs.
Well, the interesting part, I think in the States it's like that, and in Thailand it's a little different.
Yeah, Thailand, I don't think they care about anything.
Well, no, and they have certain rules they do there, but in Thailand, you fight like 7 times a week there, where you get people that like at the age of 15, they're like 307 as far as the record go, because they're like, yeah, you fought yesterday, Let's do it again, you know?
And when was your last fight? This morning at like 8 o'clock. Good, because you got another one tonight at 8.
We already booked you 7.
The next fight after that will be Oldenkamp versus Young. This will be Oldenkamp's debut fight.
Old versus young. Interesting.
Yeah, I picked up on that too.
Yeah.
I wonder who booked that fight because that was very clever.
You know, they wrote it down and snickered a little bit.
Yeah. So, just to be clear, it's Logan Young versus Destiny Oldenkamp. Sorry, I didn't mention their first names the first time. So this is going to be Destiny's first debut fight. So there was nothing on this. I could find absolutely nothing.
Oh, yeah, it's a debut fight. If you...
Like, there was no training footage, but...
I would be more amazed if they were like, oh, it's her debut fight, and you went and you found like 37 like smoker fights where she's just dominating everybody.
It's like, oh, where has this Mama 4 been?
Oh, really? She's a Mama 4?
Yes.
Interesting.
But apparently she's been into bodybuilding and powerlifting for 15 years. This will be interesting.
You have anything on Young?
That I don't. I'm going off the Fightistics page here. So
okay.
According to Young, she's 0-2. Mother of 2 girls. Ooh, got 2 moms duking it out.
Mom fight.
Really don't have much on these two, unfortunately, at the moment. The next fight is going to be Taylor T-Pain Pace.
Ooh, that's a great name.
I know, right?
A lot of P's.
Yeah. And versus Brandy Kobos. That name ring a bell?
Very much. I saw that too, and I was like, what?
Yeah, what are the chances of that?
We have a relative.
With that exact name,
yeah.
Which is very, very interesting and ironic. Taylor T-Pain Pace is coming in at 2-4-0.
Someone gave her the perfect name. Like,
T-Pain.
her coach was like, maybe she's just a big fan of T-Pain.
Maybe, you never know.
I'll buy you a drink. That whole thing.
Well, she's only 19.
Maybe? You never know.
Yeah.
Can't buy her a drink, though.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, you can't buy her a drink. You can buy her a drink, but it's got to be like soda.
Get a milk for the young lady?
Get a Diet Coke over here.
So, Taylor T-Pain Pace comes in at 2-4, while Brandy Kobos walks in at 2-2. I really don't have any information on these two. This is going to be a learning fight for me to come in and watch what these two ladies can do. They are fighting at flyweight, so I'm a little anxious to see what goes on here. When you don't have that much information on it, just like walking in blind. I like it.
It's always fun just to roll the dice on fighters.
Yeah.
Don't do that if you're gambling, though. Like, 100% do a little bit of research.
The only thing this is probably going to be really bad, but this would be like one of those fights that I don't know anything about. So I'm like, you know what? I think this one I'm going to go use the bathroom or grab a drink. Do you want anything? Some nachos?
Who's the next bout?
Next fight's going to be Selena Petrovic.
Selena's fighting on this thing?
Not that Selena.
Oh.
Selena Petrovic versus, I'm really going to mess this one up, this first name. Tanantzin Lozano.
Okay, let's stick with Lozano.
Yeah. But I'm going to say the full name first one time.
Okay, for just easier.
Lozano. So Lozano versus Petrovic.
Okay.
Their records are flat zeros.
So these are the debuts.
I'm guessing this is their first anything.
Okay.
So somebody's coming out with a 1. Somebody's
Crazy
coming
fist.
Yeah.
Coming out with crazy fist.
I don't know. This is another one of those fights that I'm going to be like, okay, I kind of want to watch this. What's going to happen?
Yeah, I agree. It's always one of the ones that, like, it's a wild card. Like, I don't know how this is going to happen or what might perspire. So you might as well give it a chance, you know?
Perspire? Like sweat?
Yes.
Okay. All right, just make sure we're on the same page, right?
I know what I said.
All right, I'm just saying.
I know there's probably a better word for it.
A lot better words for it.
Yeah, but I'm going to stick with that one. What's the next fight, man?
All right, so this one I actually had some video footage for.
Really?
Against each other.
So this is like a rematch?
I think this is a rematch. Pretty sure this is a rematch. Unless I was looking at the wrong...
It's actually a championship bout.
Yeah.
This is the flyweight championship bout, right?
Yes.
So who is it?
This is going to be Lauren Binjar. I think she said Binjar. I think this is Binjar. So Lauren Binjar versus Tanika Waldrop. And fun fact, Lauren Binjar's husband is fighting on the main card. Tanika's walking in with a 6-2 record, while Lauren's walking in with a 3-2 record.
It's not bad. So this is for a championship fight.
Yeah, I mean, the only downside is Tanika's got the ring experience. if you think about it, ring experience does help. So Taniko actually beat her already one time at the beginning of the year, March 10 at the XKO Amateur Series. So this is a rematch. So if it goes the same way it did last time, Taniko will win by decision.
Fair enough.
Watching these two during that original fight, just when pulled the footage from it, Lauren does a really good job of. She doesn't stand out, okay, but she's good across the field. So nothing's great. She's a jack of all trades. I should say.
Very balanced.
Yeah, jack of all trades. There we go.
You just said it twice.
Yeah. Anyways, so Lauren is a jack of all trades kind of fighter, master of none.
Yeah.
Which everybody's a master of something, or at least really good at one thing, not the other. And what I watched, I think she has a decent top game. Her striking's okay. She has good ground defense, but she doesn't. Her ground defense is okay, but man, she really needs to work on her wrestling a little. I'll say this: from watching them fight, her clinch could probably use the most improvement outside of her stand-up game. Now, her stand-up's not bad, but compared to somebody who has more experience than her, she got outclassed. And that's what it was down to. Taniko, on the other hand, I think this is coming up to her experience. She does have three more wins over her. Or not over her. God, that'd be horrible. You have to beat somebody 4 times.
Yeah.
You still can't beat them. She has 3 more wins.
Silva?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. She has 3 more wins than her, so she does have, overall, she has more ring experience, which I think showed in her first one because Tanika has really good striking. She's really accurate, especially when she fought Lauren the first time. She had really good, accurate strikes. Some of them were pretty solid, too. They were stiff. There were some stiff straights in there. She had a really good, clean overhand right on a counterpunch a few times.
Okay.
Her top mount was really good when she got Lauren to the ground. The only thing that I would critique on it, and I'm just a fan, and I just kind of noticed it while I was watching it, is Tanika sat a little high on her chest whenever she was postured up, or when she had the top mount, and that gave Lauren, who does have decent defense on the bottom, enough room to raise her hips and slide out the bottom. So she literally slid out from underneath her.
Okay.
That's so Lauren's ground defense is there. I don't think she didn't put enough together to get the win, which made her fall short on that.
That was in March.
Yeah. Tanika's ground and pound is really solid.
So the question is not how much you can add to your game, but how much you can sharpen your game. There's only so much you can learn in a couple of months, and I doubt they were like, oh, by the way, last minute, they probably knew going in.
Right.
So I imagine she worked on a lot. They both probably did, knowing they have fights coming up.
So one thing I really did notice, like a stark comparison between the two, is Tanika has, we're talking about a stand-up, or I'm talking about her stand-up, she has good movement, really good movement. She is constantly circling. She was on the outside of Lauren the whole time. She was not center dominant, but she was constantly moving, and her head was constantly moving left and right, which I really think is what threw Lauren off. Because Lauren, from what I saw, she tends to keep her head on a line, which is not good in boxing. That's not good in MMA. That's really not good in any combat sports unless you're pushing forward real hard, real quick.
The only time it's really decent is like wrestling because you have a base. You have to keep your base like that. But as far as striking wise, probably not the best to keep on that line.
I think Lauren's biggest opportunity for improvement is going to be that head movement. Head movement!
Shout out to Edmund.
I really think that was like Lauren's biggest. I hope that she watched footage and saw that too, because I'm just a fan, and I kind of saw, I was like, man, her head's sitting still alive. She's taking some shots from range. So I think that would probably be the only thing. If Lauren keeps her head mounted, a solid mount, and it's not moving from side to side like an experienced fighter, from what I've seen, should do, I think that'll probably be the same thing happens again if that happens.
Okay. What about the next one? The next one is the final fight on the amateur card.
We're talking about Valerie Soto and Andrea Amaro.
Soto is the first women's champ of XKO.
Right. She is the inaugural champ, and this will be her defense of that.
Cool.
This will be her second pro fight. So I'm guessing Andrea, this will be her first pro fight. She has a 3-1 amateur record. Her last amateur fight, she did lose over in I want to say that was the one I was mentioning. That's out of Mesquite. Tough Enough? Yeah, Tough Enough. She fought out of Mesquite. She lost in the first round. I cannot remember her opponent, but she pulled off a wicked armbar real fast.
Okay.
So it was in the first round. It was like less than a minute and 40 something, I believe. But Andrea has a submission win, a TKO, and a decision win. So she's covered all of them. So I don't know what kind of fighter she is. And the only footage I could find was that 1 minute clip. So I really could not find anything to give you guys an opinion on this young lady. Hopefully I'll come out with some notes on this. And I'll be able to give you more. But Valerie, I'm able to find quite a few fights on. She's been with XKO for a minute. And she's their original champ. And she just fought at LFA, which I could not find that video, which is really upsetting me right now. But I'm assuming she still won because her pro record is unblemished. And
It's a good assumption.
Yeah. I'm guessing she won against Christina Christ. I want to say the girl's name was. So I had a lot more footage to go over Valerie, and these are my notes. Here's what I remember. She has really good hand speed. Really good hand speed. She is very accurate too, dude. She's able to move around and throw her strikes from range at where she's comfortable. She is so accurate. She didn't put them down, but she's just landing in volume accurately, and I think the young lady's name she fought was Desiree. She was highly accurate. She stayed on the outside. They both traded some good shots. No, that's not counting Desiree out. God, I hope that's the lady's name I'm remembering. But Valerie really impressed me on that. I was like, man, she could be a top contender someday in Bellator or what's the other one, PFL. But yeah, Valerie is really. There's plenty of fights for you guys to go and watch on her. Hopefully, I would love to see her move up into a more mainstream competition like Bellator, PFL, or LFA. Legit, let that keep going, and then hopefully see her the big times in the UFC or whatever it is. But I really like her clinch work. When she gets into a clinch, she keeps working. And when she was on the ground, they were attempting to put her in arm bars, and she was stacking them, making them feel heavier. She's what's the word for it? Ring IQ. Her ring IQ is really good. That or her coaches are a lot better than I give her coaches at an amateur level.
Yeah, I imagine she probably from what you've described, she's always putting in work with her IQ.
Constantly working.
And if that's the case, I doubt she'll be an amateur for long. You know, you said she's professional.
Technically it's a pro fight, so yes.
So I doubt she'll be like in small cards for long if she's constantly putting in work. Anybody can make it to, professionally fighting in like these big name promotions if they're putting in work.
Get her on Tough.
They're getting better and better.
Get her on a Contender Series. Get her out there. I'm really looking forward to whatever Valerie does on Saturday night and in the future. So, as a local fighter, I want to see her advance. I want to see all these young ladies and all the guys that are coming up, that are coming out of the area,
100%
advance and move forward. But I'm pretty sure, just based off, because I'm a fan of what I've seen out of Valerie, that I'm probably going to follow her. All right, so we're going to move on to the main card for the evening. It's going to be 7 fights, all men. Since we just watched a bunch of women duke it out, we're going to watch all the guys duke it out now.
Your turn. So let's move on to the main card. It's how many fights?
Got 7 fights, all guys.
7 fights starting at 7 o'clock. That's pretty interesting.
7
So the main
fights,
card's
7
supposed to kick off.
It'd be even better if it was September 7th, but yeah.
Hey, maybe next time.
July 7th, because it would have been July 7th month. 7th. Anyways, keep going.
The 18 would have threw it off.
I mean, that's why I said 7-7.
Fair enough. So who's the first person in the card, bro?
If the information we have is correct, the first fight should be a Muay Thai bout between Jason Klein and Ryan Chester.
This is a heavyweight bout, right?
Yes.
Both of these are big boys. I know this. I know Ryan Chester. His last fight was in the LFA. He did fight Greg Hardy. I believe it was Greg Hardy's debut fight.
Oh, wow.
He did lose. That was kind of notable because after it happened, the UFC called Greg Hardy and was like, "You want a contract?" And even then, I'm not sure if he's still fighting in the UFC at this point.
I don't even think he's made it out of the contender series.
No, he won the contender series.
Did he?
He won his fight. Is there more than one fight?
They may be working on a deal then to get him into.
I think that's what they're doing because I think he's got a fight coming up outside of.
Well, he would have to do it like a fight night or something, like low on the prelims, early prelims.
I think he's got a fight outside of the UFC.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's yeah, it's weird.
Good for him.
But I know his last fight was a loss to Greg Hardy. He's coming back off a loss, but this is a Muay Thai bout. This isn't the MMA.
Right.
Jason is 6-3, and Ryan Chester is 3-2. But I think these are the MMA records, not the Muay Thai records. But I'm not sure if they have a separation in the records.
No clue.
So who's next on the card?
The next fight is going to be another Muay Thai bout between Steven Banaszak and Ty Clark.
Ty the Land Shark Clark?
I believe so. I don't know if that's because he likes the beer land shark or, he's a Garchomp Pokemon guy. I don't know.
Maybe. You just never know.
Never know.
Ty, he was on The Ultimate Fighter, the season with Daniel Cormier and Miocic.
Yeah, Stipe Miocic.
He did lose on the show. He got kicked out of the house, I guess.
Yeah, when you lose, you're out. So
they burned his photo, put his tiki out, whatever.
Yeah.
They do on the show. I haven't watched the show in a while.
No, they just knock him out and drag him out.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah. Sorry, sir, you cannot be here anymore. And Francis Ngannou just walks up and Pez dispensers everybody.
Fair enough. That seems a little brutal.
I bet you everybody would fucking win. Everything would be
a lot
draw.
of motivation.
Lots of draws. Hey, that's how we get all the draws.
That's at 0, and 32. But he was eliminated out of the show. He's made his way back here. This is a Muay Thai bout, not an MMA bout, which I find interesting. He's 7-0 in MMA, technically, because the one on The Ultimate Fighter was a pro exhibition, is what it says.
Right, because it doesn't actually count towards a professional record.
Yeah.
Which is, now that I've had that explained to me, and we took a little bit closer notice to it, explains some of the stats I was seeing on ShareDog.
Yeah.
Why they were a little inaccurate. So, apologize for anybody who paid attention before.
The interesting part, both fighters have been in Xtreme Knockout before, and they have been in Bellator.
Ooh.
Yes. Steven just came back from Bellator. He was there. I think his last fight was win by decision, maybe. And then,
maybe this is his side gig where he makes a little extra money fighting local promotions.
Maybe that's probably that might be what it is.
Could you imagine Connor going around Ireland, local promotion, just starching people left?
He couldn't get in the room.
Yeah,
people would be modeling the room, man.
That'd be interesting.
All right, so it's going to be an interesting bout between the two, for sure.
We have two fighters from the two biggest names. They both come from Bellator. One of them has been the Ultimate Fighter, which is technically UFC. So we do have two professional, in the spotlight caliber characters here. So I can't wait to see this one.
It's going to be interesting,
especially if it's a Muay Thai bout. And I'm just going to tell everybody again, this is going to be my first experience actually watching Muay Thai up close. So yeah, I'm excited.
Be a lot of hit clinch, by the way. It's like boxing, but you can kick people.
Not at the amateur level. There's a lot less clinching. There's a lot of dirty boxing too.
A lot of the amateur fights, regardless, they're like
they go for broke, man.
We're gonna go for this, or throw all my cards in this basket, throw this out there. So the next fight is a welterweight fight. Who's fighting?
We have Jeremy Hudson versus Omar Benjar, the husband of Mrs. Lauren Benjar, who we talked about a little bit earlier.
The lady who's fighting for the championship, right?
Yes.
Should be interesting.
This is going to be really interesting because Jeremy Hudson's coming in at 0-1, and Omar's coming in at 1-4.
Okay. So not terribly great records, but you never know. Maybe these guys are going for broke.
Somebody's going to finally get a win. From what I could find on Omar has kind of the same tendency as his wife does. So I don't know if that's like a training thing or they just kind of have the same mentality and that's why they're together. I could not tell you, but he's not chinny, but from what I saw, man, he just got clean caught, just back-to-back hits. And I don't know if that's an amateur move or amateur mistake. Just, he dropped his hands and got caught, or if the other person was just outclassing him. But he's really tough, but he took, in the fights that I saw, he took about 3 shots back-to-back, and he was just done. But his ground game, when he's on top, he has a really good top game. Really good top game. His ground and pound he's coming from like way back here and coming in, and I think because it's an amateur fight at the time, there was no elbows. I think that's what that was. But I think if he would have been able to incorporate the elbows at the fight that I saw, he probably would have closed out that deal a lot sooner than he did. It actually went to decision on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, much like I said with his wife, he's got good ground defense. He's got a decent top game, and his striking's not bad. It's not the best thing you're going to see, but it's not bad. One thing I didn't see enough was kicks. You got to move your head off that center line, man. Got to move that head off that center line.
Okay. Let's see.
I don't know anything about his opponent, though, Hudson. I don't know anything about him.
Well, he's 0-1, so I doubt you'll find a lot of video on him.
Well, yeah.
So the next card is a little iffy on exactly who's going to be there. There's a little bit of an issue with that, so we're going to go on to the third to the last fight of the card, which is...
I'm probably going to mess these up.
In all fairness, they're really hard names.
So it's Corey Viale versus Kashif Solarin. I'm just going to say it right out. I'm not really looking forward to this one. One of them's... Well, Corey, I'm pretty sure this might be a can fight for him. Maybe, because he's sitting at 5-3, and Kashif Solarin is 6-10. This is a Muay Thai bout.
It's a Muay Thai bout. So maybe they're just trying to mix it up, Maybe he's like, I haven't had too great of luck with MMA. Let me kick some people in the face.
Well, whatever it is, I wish them both the best of luck.
Oh yeah, for sure. Corey, he's got a positive record, which is 5-3, right?
Yes, sir.
So he's got a positive record. I'm not sure if the Muay Thai bout goes on the MMA thing. Again, that's one thing I have to completely... I think it might. So going on to the next card, which is the second to the last one, the co-main event, as it normally would be, is who? Who do we got? It's a Muay Thai bout.
We have a Muay Thai bout between Ty Walwin and Alfredo Lieja.
Do you think he likes the pasta, or is he just sick of it?
I think that's just his first name.
So that's the co-main event. What weight class are they at?
These guys should be sitting at 185, so welterweight. But It's a Muay Thai bout, so I don't know if it's different. Or, no, it says light heavyweight, but I'm going off the UFC stuff. UFC, that would be...
205?
Light heavyweight's 205.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So they're bigger guys,
A light heavyweight, yeah.
That'll be interesting. Do you know the records?
Ty is sitting at 1-2, and Alfredo's at 5-3.
Going on, this is the main event. Jose Soto versus Cameron Miller. This is another Muay Thai bout. They're going to finish it out with a Muay Thai bout, which is interesting. See, Jose is sitting at a 6-3 record, and Cameron Miller is sitting at a 4-2. So, do you have anything on these guys?
From what I've seen on Jose, he's got really good movement. He takes a karate stance, kind of. He's got the wide legs. He's got the really wide open stance.
Yeah.
And he is kind of sideways pivot, which is odd for a Muay Thai fight, which I've seen him do in 2 of his Muay Thai fights, which was a little awkward. Because even in Muay Thai, they stand with a boxer stance, just one leg is a little bit farther back, cocked and ready to go. So, which was really odd, which I think has worked in his favor, though, because the ones I've seen, he's handily beat his opponents.
The interesting part is, if that's is true, he stands more of a karate style. That would mean it's more of a towards of a Dutch style of kickboxing, because they tend to do that more in there. And that's also interesting because when they started doing it, they incorporated certain things into Muay Thai that most countries or the Thais didn't do, which that might be what he's just picking up from whoever's training him. If that is the case,
Alistair over him.
Yeah, 100%.
No, he's got Boss as his trainer.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, watch for the liver shot. He's got Dwayne Ludwig in his corner trying to teach him how to do the shit.
Come on, Grasshopper. He's too busy with TJ right now. So Jose, from what I've noticed, other than his movement and his karate style stance, and as you've so eloquently explained, more of a Dutch thing, he has really good like pushing front kicks. When he snaps them in there,
Good teep kit.
he hits them right on the sternum or just below it. So he's really accurate.
He's good at creating space.
Yeah, he's really good at creating space. Cause
that would make sense if he's got the stance like that. He's creating space, and he's probably fighting a little longer than
he is. So from everything I could see on his Muay Thai fights, even during his MMA fight, he would stay at range and circle. He's got really good movement, and he's really accurate from range. So whenever he stands out of the pocket and he's throwing his right hand, he's got a really good right hand, which I did see him in one of his fights. He head kicked a dude into oblivion.
into the game.
Yes, into the game.
Damn.
He head kicked a dude.
Is he a DLC character now?
So Jose head kicked one of his opponents, knocked him out with it. It was he set it up with feints with his overhand left, or not his overhand, just a straight left. He was feinting his left, and the guy would slowly move his arms down, and then he blasted him with a head kick, which is really good. So it shows he's got really good boxing and ring IQ.
Okay.
One thing I did notice, though, whenever he got into a clinch, he's got some really accurate, dirty boxing. And I'm not just talking uppercuts. His knees they're right on point, right in the stomach, every single time. The only thing I could really notice is that head movement is just not there. He's moving around a lot, but his shoulders are staying squared. He's not moving away from people swinging at him. And he's taking a lot of shots, like, clean. Like, when they come straight down the pipe, they hit him dang near every time.
I haven't watched any video on him. Didn't get a chance to.
Cameron Miller, the teacher.
Yeah, he is a teacher. That was a fun fact they threw at us.
This guy, I don't know what to do right here because he's going into a Muay Thai bout, and the only two videos I could find, or that I could just browse through and find really quick to watch.
Were they his 2 losses?
No, they were wins. They were MMA fights though.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what his kicking is going to be like. One of them, he dropped a guy with his like first or 2 punches, put him on the ground, and they went to the ground game, and he ended up choking him out.
Okay.
Really good on the ground too, dude. He pulled a guy almost into rubber guard before they did a few passes each other, and then he got around behind and sinked in a rear naked. Cameron is really, really accurate.
So on the 2
Highly
fights
accurate.
you watched, did they both go to the ground?
Yeah,
Okay, so we can't really judge
exactly.
stand-up that much.
But the stand-up that he did display was one-punch power because he dropped the dude to the ground off of like 2 swings. He hit him on the ground. His other fight, he stood up for a little bit, and then he blasted the dude. Like he held his own, and when he's on the ground, his ground and pound was pretty accurate too. He is really fast. I'm talking like Cody Garbrandt fast. The dude is swinging quick.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting fight to see how this...
Yes, I'm wanting to see what's going to happen here because both those fights were MMA fights, and this is going to be a Muay Thai fight with bigger gloves. Like how, I wonder how much it's going to translate. And with Jose having a little more accuracy or having a little more experience in the Muay Thai area, I'm wondering, is this where his inexperience is going to show?
It's possible. It's just I don't know too much about him, that's the best thing about local talent is it's a roll of the dice, and I love watching these amateur fights because most of the time I don't know the person, I don't know what they fight like, I don't know how they fight. Very seldomly do I even know where they're from. A lot of these people are from DFW area, outside of it a little bit. I think I've seen 1 or 2 from like was it Little Oak or Red Oak?
Red Oak?
I think it's Red
Just
Oak.
still Dallas.
Yeah, like it's these small communities around the DFW area. But I like these local fighters because it's besides just being the roll of dice, you're taking a chance when you watch these fights of like, oh, it could go to decision, but probably not because they're there to throw down.
Yeah, they have more to win off a knockout and a submission than they do a decision.
Yeah,
and it's a name. It's early. You got to make that name now.
100%. That's the best thing about these small little fights is they're not these big, huge promotions who are selling out American Airlines or who puts out the fight, 2 weeks in advance and they sell out like the minute they put out, like they did with Conor and Khabib or Mayweather fights or any of those high caliber fighters. They're just these small ones that you're taking the roll of the dice on. I love that. I want to know more of that. If you're a promoter, hit me up on Twitter. I want to know.
Yeah, one fight.
I want to know about the logo promotion. There's only so much that I can look up online. And if you guys know somebody who knows something about it, definitely hit me up. HookJP on Twitter. My co-host is Hooked Justin.
Yes, Hooked Justin. Just
on
so
Twitter.
There's a little deviation there.
Yeah, because it's probably good you went with that one.
Yeah, I did it also because we do plan on doing other videos.
Yeah, we're going to branch out a little bit more. It's not just going to be about MMA. We'll have different series and things. But definitely, if you have a small promotion, tell us about it. We'll talk to you.
Well, Jacob, is there anything else you'd like to talk about today?
The only thing I'd like to say is...
fuck you, fuck this, fuck that.
Pretty much. Is Xtreme Knockout 43 is on September 29th. If you haven't got your tickets, check it out at XtremeKnockout.com. If you can't be there, check out XKO.tv. They're streaming it. They also have all the highlights of past events. Check them out.
Any more plugs you'd like to do? Any tweets you've gotten? Anything you would like to brag about? News you saw?
Ronda Rousey liked my tweet. You hear about that one?
Yeah, I saw.
Ronda Rousey did like my tweet. I think I win that one.
That's just because she has a manager who's just rolling through there, hitting
whatever. I like to think she was just like, oh my god, he was fucking hilarious, and clicked it. Shout out to Ty Clark. He hit me up on Twitter. We couldn't set up an interview in time, unfortunately, but he did want to talk about his fights. Anybody hit you up recently?
Nope.
At all?
Nobody hit me up recently. I did get a few likes from just some random fights because I had to go in there and I dropped some hey man, this would be a good fight. Who the heck was I talking about not too long ago?
Was it the Dustin one?
Dustin and somebody else. Two legends. Somebody moving up. Jose versus somebody. Jose was gonna move up. Jose Aldo was gonna move up one weight class. Who was he gonna fight? Eddie Alvarez. That's who it was.
I don't think Eddie's in the UFC anymore.
Well, no, but there was a poll.
Yeah, okay.
There was a poll on MMA Junkie, and I retweeted it, and Eddie Alvarez liked it just because some of the options of who Jose Aldo should fight if he moves up. One of the options was Eddie. I cannot remember. One of them was Kevin Lee, I believe, and somebody else. But I said I think the fight that the fans deserve would be Eddie versus Jose, just because Jose is a legend. And Eddie is no slouch, and he is a big name. And for both of those fighters, that's a big money fight because they are too.
So Eddie liked it?
Yeah, Eddie liked it.
Okay. That's cool.
I was like, what up?
I don't know about that one.
I got that one and Tatiana, so I got 2-1, but yours does have more star
Yeah,
power,
mine's got a lot. The only way you could win is if you got Conor.
No.
And tell you the truth, it'd be really easy right now.
GSP.
It'd be really easy
Yeah,
right
if I
now.
get some proper 12.
If you got some 12 and you were just like, hey, this thing's really good. I went with it because he seems to be liking everybody who comments on it.
Did you see the one that somebody posted? I drove 1 hour to try to get proper 12 and they were sold out. Now the traffic getting back is going to be 3 hours. And Connor tweeted or retweeted it somebody get this man a bottle. And somebody from the organization said, the king has spoken, DM us so we can get your information. I was like, what? Oh,
That's
that
nice.
was awesome. Stick around, guys, because this is going to be an event we're going to. And we're going to probably put out a special report. Probably not going to be anywhere near as long as this one is as a breakdown. We're just gonna like totally talk about what we saw, everything about XKO 43 that we liked and we want to amp up. So we're probably gonna come back with a brief description of what happened and try to psych you guys up again for another XKO event or a local event. So
you got anything else? We good? We good with all the plugs?
I'm good.
I'm at Hooked JP. You're at Hooked Justin.
I'm at Hooked Justin.
Like, share, subscribe is something I would not tell you to do, but it would help.
Yeah. Like, add, subscribe, share, send us around. Just listen to for a few minutes. That's fine with me. I don't care. Just put the word out.
Tell your friend.
This is an XKO promotion.
Send out like a hawk if you got one. That would help out too. Small pigeons. Pigeons wouldn't carry it. You gotta have like
probably about 10 feet till I saw a piece of bread.
Probably. Okay, this podcast is running long. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Hook J Podcast. Hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next episode.
Sometimes you've got to do what's right for you and not do what's right for everybody else.